Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Last Days of Europe with me, Alpha Mega and Greater Germanic Reich. So in the last episode I mentioned I'm going to make this one slightly longer, and I intend on doing so. Not because I have spent some time analyzing the Navy and our new aircraft carrier, I did, but I also spent some time analyzing the HEA and the economy. So let's get on with it and start the talk, because the talk is why you are here, right? So, as before, I have updated our table. We have all of our members of our pact Sulfur-Ein here, and I was unfortunately mistaken. We didn't have an entire year between the last update and this one, but we had all of the data available for December 1967 here, so we can compile it into a yearly increase. So how far did our member states get, and what is the news? Well, quite interestingly, you can see here the new data, which is for now December 1968. Here you can see the yearly GDP increase and the rank of the state in its increase, not by an actual state or comparable wealth or GDP size, but the rank of the increase. So we can see here that an absolute victor in this regard, with 12.16% increase in a year-on-year basis, is Ostlandliga. This is kind of interesting because you can see that they have been growing quite significantly even in the previous periods. I don't know why, but they really are going up there. Unfortunately, their GDP is only about 3.7 billion at this point, but if they keep this up, they are going to jump up in their importance really soon. I don't think they have, nope, they haven't really jumped up over anyone yet, but they really are doing good job with 12.16%. Second is kind of unsurprisingly Finland, an independent nation in our sphere of influence, with 8.1%. This actually made them jump from 9.38 billion to 10.14 billion in just a span of a year, which is great because they actually went above Rusland, and they are very close in jumping over Boer Republic and the Netherlands. So we'll see if they can keep that up. Third was Norway, another semi-independent nation, even though we supervise them as per our focuses. With 6.05%, they moved up to 5.96 billion. Fourth is Poland, with 5.74%, now sitting at 7.19 billion. Fifth is Caucasus, 4.93%, sitting at roughly 4.5 billion. Sixth is Ukraine. Now Ukraine is an interesting one because while its increase is only 4.65%, I think that they've actually grown in the sheer numbers by the biggest number, because they are, well, actually maybe not. Maybe Finland grew a bit more. Yeah, I think Finland grew a bit more, but about the same amount, because they started with 11.45 billion and they are now nearing to 12 billion. I'd actually really like to invest a bit more in Ukraine because they're the biggest member of the Sulfur-Ein, and while this growth is really nice, the more they can grow, the better we will be off. They are definitely the strongest one, and even if they keep just in the middle, they will be pretty good. But again, if Finland can keep up this growth, they're gonna jump over them really quickly in a span of a 2-year, 3-year period. Who's seventh? Seventh is Slovakia, interestingly. They started with 2.52 billion, now they're at 2.74 billion. Eighth is Hungary, with 4.06%. And who's ninth? Ninth is Boer Republic with 4%. Clear as day, 4%. And they are at 10.15 billion. I kind of like it. I like that, our major players are at least above 4%. However, this goes off the ones that I'm happy with. 11th is the Netherlands, another semi-independent nation, only 2.72%. 12 is Rusland with 2.63. They are now at 9.75. Kind of interesting that they were, third in size. Now they are 5th, so you can see other nations jumping over them. 13th is Romania, though we can't really fault them for that because we pretty much instigated an armed coup in their country. So 2.26 is still a good result, I think. 14th is... oh wow, we're all the way down here. Madagascar, yeah. Unfortunately, Madagascar started very low and is still very low. There's not much happening there. I'm gonna have to investigate if we can start investing in it at least a bit, because Madagascar really is just staying completely out of our interest. 15th, Leopoldville, 1.84%. And 16th, and the weakest, is interesting with Denmark. I would not have guessed that, but Denmark has grew from 5.12 to 5.3 billion in a span of 2 years. They're pretty much stagnant when you look at it. It's interesting. Anyway, we are currently at $2,406,000,000 as a group, and thus our sphere is taking 18.1% of all of our worldwide GDP. So that's pretty interesting considering we started with 16.3, so we are doing good. I'm pretty sure that we are actually the one dragging the sphere up and up. For that reason, I actually went ahead and I loaded up an old save file, and I wanted to see how much growth our direct competitors have, and it's actually kind of scary. USA has grown by 20.72% in the span of February to December, so their real growth is somewhere around, probably something like 24%, maybe even more. England, interestingly, also grew by more than 20%, actually more than 21%, which is really interesting. I was thinking that article in the Beobachter was not telling the truth, but it was. They're actually jumping up like crazy. Japan, on the other hand, grew by only 6%, from 262.48 billion to 278.23 billion. So Japan is definitely not doing good, and Italy has grown from 119.05 billion to 121.7 billion, only by roughly 2.23%. So not good numbers for most of our competitors. The one that I'm really afraid of is USA though, because they have been outgrowing us significantly, and the difference seems to be growing. So I'm not entirely sure if they have anyone in their sphere, so they might be alone on that, while we have a number of additional sphere members. Okay, so this covers the economy. I hope you found this interesting. And now the army. I'm going to explain a bit what you're looking at. I actually went ahead and I tried to figure out how we're going to downsize the army to the 50 divisions that are our future maximum. Now these are the numbers of divisions and their type that we have in the armies that we have. And this is the ending state that we are going to go for. Now, you can see that all of our infantry armies will be changed to HPS Operations Group, and this actually tells you what you need to know about these colors. The green ones are basically the ones where we do not need to change the templates. The red ones are the ones where we are going to make some changes, which is pretty much everyone, as you can see. So the infantry armies are going to be downsized by another division, all of them, and the 4th and 5th infantry army that we have at max strength is going to be downsized to half, which means 5 divisions each. We are going to change the 7th infantry army into a 7th mountain army. And we're gonna retain the 4 divisions that we have there, but we're gonna put those divisions onto another template which we have to create, and we're gonna, as I mentioned, make them the mountain army. This is because this army is in Crimea, so they are going to be needing specialized equipment to fight in the mountains. What we're also going to do is we're going to transform the 21st Motorized and 22nd Panzer Army from 12 divisions each to 7 divisions each, and they're going to be recreated into mechanized divisions. So they're going to end up as 21st Mechanized and 22nd Mechanized Army. This is going to be a completely new template, and the garrisons that we have at Port Louis, Saint Denis, and Leopoldville are going to be downsized to only 1 division, and they're going to be transferred from a garrison to an army corps, and those are going to be renamed accordingly. Now, this difference will require us to create entirely new templates. Now, the HPS operations group is going to grow from size 18 to 20. We're going to add a motorized anti-air and motorized anti-tank to them so that they can defend themselves a bit better, but that's a cosmetic change pretty much. What's going to change dramatically is going to be the mechanized division, as we're going to stop using the motorized and panzer divisions. These are all going to be changed to mechanized, which will have a size 30, and will be consisting of tanks, APCs, AFVs, and motorized anti-tank and motorized anti-air. And the garrison army corps are going to grow to size 40, as they're going to be stationary, 15 battalions of special infantry, and 5 anti-air and 5 anti-tank battalions. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be able to have that many special forces. If this doesn't work, it's going to be just a regular infantry. And here's the Germania class carrier. I actually decided that it's going to be exactly the same as the type that we had for the Adler, except it's going to have 20 more airplanes. It's going to have AA rockets instead of anti-air, and it's going to have a nuclear engine. So these are the differences that we have ahead of ourselves, and we got a lot of work. First of all, we have to start drilling all of our armies, because we will need a huge amount of army experience. So I'm gonna start that immediately. And we're gonna prepare for the downsizing. You're not part of this one? You are now. Okay, cool. So, let us start. It's gonna be quite a lot of work, actually. I'm not looking forward to it that much, but the here change needs to happen. Okay, so this is giving us an additional 0.09 experience daily, which is not bad. Daily gain 0.47 is gonna be good. Return of Tsar Simeon II. Carried into power by a surprise coup, the Bulgarian monarchy has been restored to power after a period of isolation from the government. Simeon II, already de jure monarch, has apparently achieved this using his connections within the military, and more specifically the army. With the former Fatherland Front government having been ousted by the coup, Simeon II now forms his own government. Outside observers expect this new regime to be highly conservative and focus primarily on stabilizing both itself and the nation as a whole. Well, we'll see what it's gonna do. Okay, so first of all, we need to see... Can we see in here somewhere? I don't think we can see here the amount of special troops that we have. Okay, well, I'm gonna start by actually upgrading you guys. That's gonna be the first thing that we need. Oh, we're gonna need God damn it. Okay, we'll need 30 XP just for this. But it's gonna give them... I actually checked that it's gonna give them quite a lot of punch against the enemy forces. Now I could actually just give them a regular anti-tank and anti-air, but that slows them down quite dramatically. And air attack 41, 32. So do you actually have a higher air attack here? Defense 4.4. Defense is the same. Why do you have less anti-air? You have 67 hard attack and you have only 58. Well, okay then. Unfortunately, we're gonna have slow units, but this is cheaper and much better than breakthrough. Yeah, I should give a bonus to breakthrough as well, huh? What about you guys? Did you give breakthrough bonus? You did, but less of it. Okay, that looks like the motorized divisions are having a bit of an issue with vulnerability. Okay, but this is good. Okay, so that's the first change that I was talking about, that we need to give these guys more anti-tank and anti-air. And I think we're gonna start downsizing the units very soon. We actually did downsize already. Oh, and I can speed it up a bit. New division limit is 80. Yeah, our real GDP growth dropped significantly, unfortunately, due to inflation. Okay, so what did we get? Advanced engine improvements. That's for the tanks, right? Yeah. To offset tank engines' common failure to achieve fuel-efficient operation, economizing devices such as recuperators were introduced. Recuperators work by harnessing exhaust and waste heat to preheat gases meant for combustion, thereby improving fuel efficiency and recovering energy that otherwise would have been needlessly expended. So now get me the advanced armor protection. Decisions available. Military investment and infrastructure investment. Okay, let's get those. And I actually forgot who said that. Let me check my notes. Oh, Dinosaur Recycle kept urging me to do the missions in Russia. They're really expensive, but Far East. But let's actually do it, because he is right that we should do these sooner than later. So, Unternehmen Schwert. R&D agents will be sent to infiltrate West Siberia, gaining intel on the ruler of the region. Once they've gathered intel on the situation, they'll begin sabotaging infrastructure in the region, hopefully slowing down the unification process. So they use stability and political power. We have a 97% chance that we do it. Our military professionalism society. Okay, so their professionalism will worsen, and they lower their GDP growth. Okay, so this is mainly a sabotage operation, it seems. So let's see, maybe we're gonna get some event. Yeah, no divisions in basic training, I'm well aware of that. 0.21. How's the poverty? 48.40. 48.84. Oh, that's really nice. That is a really nice number. Come on, really? I was hoping that... Well, I mean, we're gonna keep cutting deep into here, so... we'll see how that's gonna go. I don't think... Actually, we're getting... That's another thing. I think that with the with the modernization of the heer, we will be able to actually cut down on production of things. We'll be able to dedicate more industrial, what's it called? Production units? Yeah, more production units to construction, making it faster and better. Okay, well, Commonwealth of Britain conquered Scotland, so bye-bye Scotland. What are you talking about? What do you mean lost production units? There are no lost production... Oh, okay. So now for some reason... Dang it, okay. Well, we lost a number of factories. Okay, so let's keep them churning. Reforged here has been finished. And we read this, right? Yeah. So now let's go with the next one. Elevate the good men, or war has changed. More practical option. Okay, so this one is further downsizing. So let's go with elevate the good men. Following the Bürgerkrieg, the majority of the heer divisions who had fought for our enemies were granted amnesty and reintegrated. Herr Speer was right to do this. After all, we are not murderous Bolsheviks, but it came at a price. An army's image is best represented by its leadership, and many reactionary and militarist officers have retained their ranks. Whether they are committed foes of the regime or simply misguided, this will not do. The most troublesome officers must be reassigned or retired. Their place should be taken by newly promoted men of sound character, dedicated to the nation and its people rather than the ideology of their leader. So if you use 25 political power, get a new event, get new generals, and slightly increase military supervision, policy effectiveness, and military professionalism begins improving. So what do we have here? England defeats Scotland. Okay, and as part of this, I'm actually going to start downsizing you. Yep. 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 Actually, one of these were supposed to stay. What was it? The 7th Infantry Army. Oh, dang it. Okay, I already disbanded. So you are going to be reassigned to the 7th Infantry Army. And you guys are supposed to be the Mountaineers. So we'll have to change that. But that's going to be expensive and long. So now let us change the HPS Operationsgruppe to give you the anti-tank and anti-air. Save it. And actually turn one of you already to the new template. Okay, can I do this as well? Ha! Okay, so we won't be able to do that. Well, never mind. Then we'll just have to do it step by step. So actually then maybe let's keep you as infantry, because we will need to... Yeah, infantry actually has already the necessary combat width. So we might keep you guys as infantry divisions and just change the 7th into Mountaineers. Actually, that's one thing. I never until now hit the limit of the special forces, so I wasn't even sure if it's still present. England defeats Scotland. In the aftermath of a campaign, and many are calling reminiscent of the Western Front of the First World War, England has succeeded in defeating the Scottish armies and is in full control of the nation. England's flag flies over every part of the island, and Scotland's government has been captured. Despite the organized surrender of the Scottish forces, many smaller units are still in action, fighting guerrilla warfare against the occupying English. Despite this, England now has crushed any threat to its ambition to restore the Commonwealth of Britain, or a territory of similar geographical control. Now London is almost certain to declare themselves the rightful successor to the British Empire and demand the same respect. A union, at what cost? British reunification. Rise like lions after slumber, in unvanquishable number. Shake your chains to earth like dew. We are many, they are few. Percy Shelley. Cable Street Avenged. Okay, so what we need to do next is the 4th and 5th Infantry Army will need to be lowered to half. So considering we have a bunch of you here, we can disband the 5 of you, and we've 5 divisions, and we are going to disband. Actually, let's reassign you here and disband the German students, because those have been utterly can change you to an HPS and change you to the HPS. Okay, so further downsizing has happened, and we have finally sent the students home, which is good. Now to 64 divisions. Okay, debt has dropped slightly. Real GDP growth is down 7.96%. Deficit has grown actually to nearly 5, but I don't think that's accurate. It's actually gonna drop. And this is all because the minimal army investment, I think, increased. Okay, free production units, huh? All of a sudden. Oh, sure. You can have those. You can have those. Civilian investment. I am happy with that. Let's do it. Divide Ostland. Ostland will be divided into a free Baltic state and a free Belarusian state. And establish the Caucasus Federation. A collaborationist federation will be established in the former Reichskommissariat Caucasian. I haven't done that yet. What about Inge Farben, my lovelies? Okay. Antitrust directive here. Seize their corporate assets here. Okay, antitrust directive over here, and that leaves just 3 places left. 60%, 74, and 7. So let's hit them with... Oh! Okay. So only 2 are left. Cool. That will eventually allow us to dismantle them too. Okay, and social state and social market, these ones are scary, because they change. Look at that. Unemployment and pensions and universal coverage to total coverage. It's gonna be super expensive for us. I don't think we can afford it at this point. Führer was Ingefarben. Ah, okay. So we can do this one. It's gonna hit us a bit with a debt, but GDP growth is gonna increase further. And that's actually pretty good at this point. Oh, I haven't unpaused it. Need to see what's gonna happen with the deficit next. Okay, army experience. Is anything in the here gonna give us army experience? Nope. Nope. In Prussia's glory? Nope. Nothing. Okay, well. Let's go with the Führerlass. They thought themselves invincible, unstoppable, above the rule of law and the nation's justice. They thought wrong. Inge Farben is on its knees, brought low by decisive action and the might of the Reich government. With Hitler gone and the reactionaries disempowered, they can no longer hide behind the skirts of the military-industrial complex. Let this be a testament to our resolve and pursuit of a more righteous world. It's time to strike the killing blow. Abs and his council of rats are scrambling to consolidate what little they have left and flee the Reich. This cannot be allowed to happen. Herr Speer is a dictator with unquestionable authority, and it's past time he exercised it. Thankfully, he is entirely on board with the idea of bringing down the hammer in as dramatic a fashion as possible. What better method than to order the immediate and indefinite arrest of Hermann Josef Ups on charges of high treason? Let's see the bastard charm his way out of this one. Well, that's going to be interesting. And Iberia maintains the Iberian Council. The Iberian Union has issued a surprise announcement today pertaining to the Iberian Council. While initially created in order to take the job of legislation off the Caudillo's shoulders, the institution had come under fire by some elements of the government for various reasons, and the controversy was sufficient to provoke a debate of its existence. This debate has come to a close with the current system prevailing and the Council remaining until further notice. International observers have noted this as grown exceptionally close to the institution of a democracy, but it remains to be seen if they will progress further. And fresh blood. For the entire Wehrmacht, but the Heer more than all others, the Bürgerkrieg was like a scythe. Actually, give me a second, just this is annoying me. Okay, good. For the entire Wehrmacht, but the Heer more than all others, the Bürgerkrieg was like a scythe wielded by death itself, decimating simple soldiers and officers alike as the fighting degenerated into house-to-house combat, while the entirety of Germany was the front line, and the command tent was a place like any other to fight and die. The following period wasn't any kinder to the Oberkommander der Heer, as many disloyal, corrupt, and incapable officers were systematically purged, leaving a large hole in the officer corps. However, from problems come opportunities, and von Tresckow knew this very well. The Prussian general spent the years of the Reconstruction not only reforming the army doctrines and structural organization, but also training the new generation of officers to ensure they wouldn't follow in the predecessors' footsteps. One of his greatest achievements was the establishment of the Officerschule des Heeres in Dresden, staffed by the best remaining military theorists. The new institution was made so that cadets from the entire Reich could learn the new doctrines of war in a suitable environment. Of course, said environment would be filled with references to the Prussian discipline and the reformist ideas. Despite the ideological issues, however, no one can deny that the Officerschule has done an excellent work. The end of the first training cycle and the subsequent ceremony in which the young cadets took their rank as full-fledged officers of the Heer marks a new beginning for the armed forces of the Reich. We can only pray that these new generals and lieutenants will prove worthier than their predecessors and able to keep the Wehrmacht from descending into more decadence. Salute the new officers. Hip hip hooray. Can someone explain to me how the deficit can increase when we slashed the expenses? That is really weird. Wait, the Navy? Could it be the Navy? I don't think so. I really don't think so, but what the hell do I know? And this one will go over here. Okay, light cruiser and heavy cruiser. Do we have place for those here? I'm not entirely sure. These battleships are, yeah, they are way more capable, so I think that's actually it. You guys are gonna go to here, and I think we're gonna start scattering the battleships and adding these ones here. Ludendorff. Okay, so let's take you a light cruiser and a heavy cruiser, because the heavy cruisers are way cheaper and way more mobile. So let's take Boyen and Hessler and attach them to the first Südwestflotte, and actually retire Grossdeutschland and Admiral Hipper and disband those two. Okay, well, first battleship has been scuttled. How does that feel? How does that change our deficit? It's a good question. I guess that not by much though. Okay, what about you guys? You need to be called as well, unfortunately. 64 divisions. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add... What we're gonna do? We're gonna keep 4 panzer divisions and 3 motorized in each. So 4 panzer and 3 motorized, yep. So let's disband these. And let's disband these. So it's 7 and 7. Yep. Cool. So that's another slash. 54 divisions. Okay. That pretty much just leaves you guys. And I'm thinking I could actually ensure that we do not change. Okay, so let's actually do it this way. We do have 2, 3, 4 here, and we want to have only 1 in each. So you guys will be sent to the 7th Infantry Army. You guys are going to be sent to the 7th Infantry Army. And you two are going to be sent to the 7th Infantry Army. We're going to disband these 4 infantry divisions. Cool, so I think that's it. Yep, 50 divisions as we wanted. Now all we'll need to do is actually spend or accumulate enough army experience to be able to spend that. Okay, the deficit is dropping. Hopefully it's going to continue dropping as we lower the poverty and everything. Keep disbanding some of the bigger ships. Okay, are we researching the nuclear reactor? We are. Holy hell, that's going to take a long time. 230, nearly a year. No, that's 2/3 of a year. Doesn't sound that much better, does it? Oh god. You're working hard. That's good. Okay, let me check how Madagascar is doing. Oh dear lord, they got no infrastructure whatsoever. That's why they're doing so poorly. Okay, so what do we have here? Decisions available: education, poverty reducing, and tradesmanship. I have money for all. Robert F. Kennedy secures 2nd term. Robert F. Kennedy was once said to be too naively idealistic. Give me a second. too naive idealistic to succeed. Today, however, his doubters have been proven wrong as the progressive champion once more defeated the Republican-Democratic coalition and secured 4 more years as president. Before a crowd of cheering well-wishers, he declared that though much changed and much change. Before a crowd of cheering well-wishers, he declared that though much change had been achieved, there is still so much more to be done. Kennedy has vowed to focus his second term on ripping out the remaining injustices in American society, with even more ambitious plans being set in motion. A few sweat nervously at just how far he is willing to go to see his dream realized. Whatever happens, few Americans doubt that the 1960s will be remembered as a decade of unprecedented change. And with the feeder loss done, we only need to go through these. God damn. Token regulations, moderate regulations, minimal safety limited, and trinket subsidies with no subsidies. The social market might be a better choice for us. Because it's going to be cheaper, to be quite honest. Minimal safety with limited safety and trinket subsidies with full subsidies. This one, highway increase unemployment effectiveness. Yeah, those increase huge amounts of policy costs. Here we still get low subsidies though. But at least it's just low subsidies. Here it's universal coverage and stuff like that. I'll have to decide eventually. I'm just torn because I'm afraid of the impact. Okay, let's continue with irregulars to infantry. The bulk of our forces during the Burger Creek were comprised of ad hoc militia. Students, freed slaves, and ordinary citizens did a good deal of the killing and most of the dying. Most of those who survived simply returned to their old lives, but some found their calling in our service and have remained loyal, becoming a sort of informal reserve force. Time to sound the call of war once again, that those brave souls might heed its call. For our new here, we will need strong, experienced men proven in battle. German spirit shall come to be displayed in bravery and discipline once again, rather than ruthlessness and insensate bloodlust. So training time and supply consumption will increase for the modernizing here. We lower the division limit to 65. But military professionalism will improve and training policy. Okay, that's going to be the last one, and then we are going to end the episode. So let's see. Nope, the deficit has increased. Wonderful. Wonderful. How amazing is that? I'm actually losing fuel here. But army experience is increasing. At least that's good. At least that's good. We don't have any mountaineers though. No, we do. Quebec-Jäger here. So we can use those as a sort of a template. Improved academic base. The foundation of society is her writing. Okay, so I guess we're not gonna end there because we got too many events. So let's just read this one and end it there. The foundation of society is her writing. It cannot be overstated how the institutions that define civil life rests on the bedrock of the written word. Society marches forward hand in hand with the literature of the time. It lives and dies by the high tides of writing. She sleeps when the pages are burned and awakens when a curious young person decides to scratch something on that palm leaf. It is the progenitor of liberty and may spell the end of it. Our schooling and our literacy matter more than nearly anything else. When it dies, progress isn't just halted, it actively begins to wither. Progress towards whatever ideal, be it racial purity, free markets, or equality, cannot survive without a pen. So yes, our universities have expanded, but some men today some man today is newly learning how to read and opening up the Pandora's box that is writing. This is something to be celebrated. Oh, nice! So we replaced secondary schooling with tertiary schooling. Efficiency retention and production efficiency growth increased by 2.5%. Research speed and docker output increased by 5%. GDP growth factor annually increases by 2.5%. Needed consumer goods, however, increased by 1.5%, and societal development progress plus 20. So let's see the effect here. Come on. Yeah, 9.63. Nice. Well, even though the deficit has increased, I still think that we're going to continue lowering the debt. At least, the relative debt. 82% is still way better than the 104% we ended with we started with, actually, not ended with, but started with. Cool. So let's end the episode here. I had fun. I'll see you in the next one, where we continue with the Greater Germanic Reich and the army. I'll have to change. I think we'll do the Gebirgsjäger next. Because I really think that we might just want to do something like this, to have them as capable of fighting in the mountains as possible. Yeah, attack and movement, defense. Unfortunately, they have to die and live. But we can give them attack helicopter company or assault. No, actually attack helicopter, because the air assault is gonna be just another special unit. Heavy supply. Light armor recon. Okay, light armored recon, and can we give them armored engineer company? Would do what? Yeah, I think this would be good. Defense 1232. My god. But the soft attack, hard attack, everything is pretty good. Attack in the mountains 90%, 75%, at 10% defense. Same with the hills. Pretty good attack in the urban as well. Against forts, rivers. Wow, these guys get bonuses everywhere. So we would need 60 for that. But it looks like a good choice. Okay, well, we'll do that next time. Till then, you guys take care.